Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Probability. This is the next topic of important nodes of S1. Conditional probability. This is the formula of conditional probability. Probability A, given that B has already occurred. Since B has already occurred, therefore we have probability B here and their intersection is here. Exclusive events. These are two conditions for exclusive events. For the verification of exclusive events, we always check this condition. If this condition will verify, then events will be exclusive. Exclusive events means two events cannot occur simultaneously. They are disjoint events. Independent events. This is the only condition for the verification of independent events. For independent events, this condition must be verified. If two events are independent, then they cannot be mutually exclusive, because for exclusive events, intersection must be 0, and for independent events, intersection must not be 0. This question is from November 18, paper 61. In a group of students, the number of boys and girls studying art, music, and drama are given in the following table. Each of these 160 total is students is studying exactly one of these subjects. Always get the horizontal totals and vertical totals of these types of questions. Part 1. Find the probability that a randomly chosen student is studying music. Altogether, there are 52 students who study music. Therefore, 52 upon 160, which is 13 upon 40. Part 2. Determine whether the events a randomly chosen student is a boy and a randomly chosen student is studying music. So they are talking about M intersection B. Are independent, justifying your answer. For independent events, this condition must be verified. So, boys who study music, they are 40. So 40 upon 160. Students who study music, they are 52. So 52 upon 160 is 13 upon 40. Boys, so they are 96. 96 upon 160. Since this equation is not verifying, therefore these events are not independent. Third part of this question. Find the probability that a randomly chosen student is not studying drama, given that the student is a girl. So, not studying drama and given that the student is a girl. So, girls who, they are altogether 64 girls. So, 64 should be the denominator. And those girls who do not study drama, they are 27. 15 plus 12 makes 27. So 27 upon 64. That's the final answer. And you can do this question in this way as well. Probability of girls who do not study drama, they are 27 upon 160 and girls are 64. So 64 upon 160. You can do this question in this way or in this way. You have option. Part 4. 3 students are chosen at random. Find the probability that exactly one is studying music and exactly 2 are boys. So we have to first make the data that students who study music, boys who study music, they are 40. Boys who do not study music, they are 56. Girls who do not study music, they are 52. Girls who study music, they are 12. And according to this requirement, we have to select 3 students and exactly one is studying music. So this is the first option. Girl who study music and boys who do not study music. So this is the first option. 3 students and exactly one is studying music. This is the first way. So girl who does study music, 12C1, and both boys who do not study music, that they should be 56C2. The second way, One boy who does study music, the other one who does not study music, girl who does not study music. So girl who does not study music, it should be 52C1. Boy who does not study music, 56C1. Boy who does study music, 40C1. And total is 160C3. You can do the calculations yourself. The next topic of S1 important notes is probability distribution. For any random variable x, sum of all probabilities is 1. Probabilities, let me correct this. Sum of all probabilities is always 1. And this is the formula of the expectation. Sigma x px, or you can simply write this as sigma xp. This is the formula of variance. And ex square is this. Sigma x square px. So with the help of this, we will find sigma ex square, and with the help of this formula, we can find variance. And you all know probability can never be negative. Now, in this chapter, the most important thing is construction of probability distribution. This is the probability distribution. Now, for this table, for the construction of this probability distribution, we have to decide the values of x. Now, how to choose the value of x? This is very important. We can understand this with the help of this example. There are 5 girls and 3 boys, and the requirement is 4 students or 4 people from 8. Now, the first thing which you need to understand is the meaning of the variable x. Now, x represents the number of girls. Now, you have to decide the smallest value of x and the largest value of x. Since girls are 5 and we need to select 4, so we can have all 4 girls. So the maximum or largest value of x will be 4. We can have all 4 girls and no boy. Since there are 3 boys and we have to select 4 students, so we must have 1 girl, because altogether we need 4. So the minimum value of x is 1. What if we had 4 boys? Let's suppose we had 4 boys. Then we could have 4 boys here and no girl here. Since boys are 3 and requirement is more than the number of boys, so we must have at least 1 girl. So this is the minimum value of x and this is the maximum value of x. Now you can easily list the values of x in the table. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first work which is very important. List the values of x carefully. Now, how to find probabilities? Remember, we always use combinations when selections are random and without repetition. So for 1 girl, we need to use the combination 5C1 for 1 girl, and let me correct this. This is 3C3. We need 3 boys. So 1 girl and 3 boys. So 5C1 for 1 girl and 3 boys, 3C3, and divided by 8C4. This is the way we found this probability. You can also find this probability in the same way. For example, if you have to find this probability, 2 girls. So you have to do 5C2, 3C2, 2 boys, because altogether we need 4, 8C4. This will be 6 upon 14, and so on. So this is the way to decide the value of x, and this is the way to find the probabilities. This question is from June 20, paper 53. Question number 4. A fair 4-sided spinner has edges numbered 1, 2, 2, 3. A fair three-sided spinner has edges numbered -2, -1, 1. Each spinner is spun and the numbers on the edge on which it comes to rest is noted. The random variable x, now this is very important, is the sum of the two numbers that have been noted. So we have addition here. So to solve this question, always use possibility space. With the help of this possibility space, you can get the values of x and the probability of x as well. So the minimum value of x is -1 and the maximum is 4. These are the possible values of x. And list the probabilities of these numbers if you want. And you can just ignore this because all numbers have the same probability. When all numbers have equal probability or same probability, then there is no need to list these probabilities here. This is the optional thing. So there is no need to list this. Let me erase these two. When probabilities are same, then we do not need to list the probabilities. When probabilities are different, then we always list the probability. So -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the possible values of x. -1 is just ones, and we have altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 12 numbers. So 1 upon 12. This is the probability of -1. Since we have 3 zeros, so 3 upon 12. Do not simplify these fractions. Just copy these as it is. This will help you to check the total. Total is always 1. So this is the way to construct probability distribution with the help of possibility space. Variance, for that we must find mean first. So for mean, we use this formula, sigma x px. For that we need to take the product of these numbers, sum of the product of these numbers. So this product is here, this product is 0, so this product is here. This will become 4 upon 12. So sum of the product of these numbers will give you mean. For variance, we first need to find ex square, which is sigma x square px. So we need to first square this number, and then we need to multiply square of this number with this probability. Like -1 square times this will give you this. This will be 0. 1 square is 1, 3 upon 12. 2 square will be 4. When you will multiply this with 2 upon 12, so it will become 8 upon 12. This is after square is 9. So 9 to the 18 upon 12. 16 upon 12. So this is the formula of variance. You can leave your answer as a fraction, or if you want to give your answer in decimal, then it should be up to 3 significant figures. It's better to leave the answer as a fraction in probabilities, in probability questions. Well, the next topic of this lecture of S1 important notes is binomial distribution. A discrete random variable that meets the following criteria is said to have binomial distribution, and it is defined by two parameters, n and p. N means fixed number of trials and p means probability of success. So these are 4 conditions for binomial model, and you have to learn these conditions by heart. There are n repeated independent trials. The trials must be independent. This is the first condition. N is fixed and finite. There are 2 possible outcomes of each trial, success or failure. The probability of success in each trial is constant. So there are 4 conditions. The trial should be independent, the value of n should be fixed, there must be 2 outcomes only, and the probability of success must be constant. The random variable is the number of trials that results in a success. A discrete random variable x that has a binomial distribution is denoted by this. This is the way to describe the distribution. You must learn this thing. You can read this as x is discrete and it follows to binomial with parameters n and p. N means fixed number of trials and p means probability of success. X follows binomial and parameters are n and p. So if x follows binomial, then this is the formula of the distribution. With the help of this formula, we can find the probabilities for binomial distribution. NCX, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x. P means probability of success and q means probability of failure. And this value is finite. We must have a number here, maybe 30 or anything. X starts from 0 and n starts from 1. And q is 1 minus p. This means p complement. Rules to make the calculation simple for binomial questions. Well, always list the numbers of direct method first and then list the numbers for indirect method. Number 1, this means all. When we have n here, then this means all. So whenever it says all, then n is here and the answer is always p power n. If you will substitute n here, here and here, then you will get p power n. Well, 0 means none, and when you will substitute 0 into that formula, you will get q power n. So you need to learn these two results by heart, that all means n and the answer is always pn. 0 means none, answer is always q power n. At least one. If you will do this through direct method, then these are the options 1, 2, 3 till n. This method is very lengthy, so you have to use the indirect method. And indirect method is 1 minus probability those numbers which are not in this list. You know x starts from 0. So 0 is not in this list. So 1 minus 0. At least 2. Through direct method, these are the numbers 2, 3, 4 till n. So this method is lengthy, so you have to use indirect method. 1 minus those numbers which are not in this list. X starts from 0. So these two numbers are not in this list. So 1 minus 0, 1. This is the best way to understand this method. X greater than 2. The first number is 3, then 4, then 5 and till n. So this method is still lengthy. So we have to subtract those numbers from 1, probability of those numbers from 1 which are not in this list. And those numbers are 0, 1 and 2. Probability at most 2. You can read this as at most 2. So this is very simple. Only 3 numbers are here. So you don't need to subtract this from 1. Less than 2 means just 0 and 1 or 1 or 0. What if n is 8? Sorry, what if n is 9? Then for at least 8, we have these two numbers, 8 or 9. I mean, this list will make the calculations very simple, inshallah. Mean and variance of binomial. This is the mean of binomial NP and this is the variance of binomial NPQ. Important questions of binomial. Screws are sold in packets of 15. So N is 15. Faulty screws occur randomly. A large number of packets are tested for faulty screws and the mean number of faulty screws per packet is found to be 1.2. So NP is 1.2 and N is 15 and P is unknown. So with the help of this formula, NP, we can get the value of P, which is 0.08. Part 1. Show that the variance is 1.104. We know the formula of variance, it's NPQ. So with the help of this formula, we can easily prove variance. The formula is NPQ. Part 2. Find the probability that a packet contains at most 2 faulty screws. This is the way to write at most, less than equal. So the possible values of x are 0, 1 or 2. With the help of binomial formula, we can easily get these probabilities. For 0, we need to write 15C0, p to the power 0, q to the power 15, or you can directly write this as q to the power 15. For 1, 15C1, p power 1, q power 15 minus 1, 14. This number is the power of p and their difference is the power of q. Similarly, for probability 2, 15C2, p power 2, q power 13, and give your answer up to 3 significant figures. Next part. Damien buys 8 packets of screws at random. So n is 8 for this part. Find the probability that there are exactly 7 packets. We need this probability, 8C7, in which there is at least one faulty screw. So these are two binomial models. For this probability 8C7, we need P, and for that we need to use this information. This information will give you the value of P. At least one faulty screw. So you need to find this probability. 1 minus P0, 1 minus Q power 15. So this will give you the value of P. This is here. These are two binomial models. This is the first model and this is the second model. We always find P of this second model with the help of this first model. So at least one, we write at least one like this. 1 minus P0. So 1 minus Q power 15. This is here. We know the value of Q, 0.92. So this is the value of P. Make sure you write the value of P at least 4 decimal places, because you have to use this P for this part. Now we need probability exactly 7. So 8C7, this is P and this is Q, 1 minus P. Q is 1 minus P. And give your answer up to 3 significant figures. This question is very important, and I use the concept of two binomial models in this question. We find the P for the next model with the help of previous model, like this. You must be good at this concept. Next question of binomial distribution. 5 part A. Find the probability of getting at least one number 3 when 9 fair dice are thrown. You all know on fair dice, probability of all numbers are same. So probability of number 3 is 1 upon 6, and we need at least 1 3. We write at least 1 as 1 minus 0. So P is 1 upon 6, therefore Q will be 5 upon 6. And N is 9. That's the answer. When N fair dice are thrown, the probability of getting at least 1 3 is greater than 0.9. At least number 1 3 is greater than 0.9. You know the probability of 3. It's 1 upon 6. Therefore Q is 5 upon 6. So we write at least 1 like this, and we need N. Find the value of N. Now this will become 1 minus Q power N greater than 9. This one. So Q power N less than 0.1. When you will shift 1 on other side, you will get this thing. When you will cancel both negatives, then sign will be opposite. So we have this thing here. And the value of Q is 5 upon 6. When you will take ln on both sides, and when you will divide this ln 5 upon 6 here, the sign will be opposite, because ln of probability is always negative. So make sure you change the sign here first, and then here. So always opposite this sign while dividing ln on other side in probability questions, and give your answer as a whole number because n is integer. N is integer, so give your answer as a whole number. The smallest possible value of n is 30. See, log is negative. That is why we change the sign here. This part is not of binomial, that's why I am leaving this part. Now the next topic of S1 notes is the geometric distribution. A discrete random variable x, capital X, is said to have a geometric distribution and is defined by its parameter p if it meets the following criteria. These are the conditions for geometric distribution. The repeated trials are independent. This is the common condition for both binomial and geometric. The trials are independent. The repeated trials can be infinite in number. This is the different condition, and this is the difference between binomial and geometric. All three conditions are same except this one. In binomial, n must be fixed and finite. Here, trials can be infinite. That is why this distribution is known as infinite distribution. We repeat the process until we get the requirement. Condition number 3, there are just two possible outcomes like success or failure for each trial. This is the common condition for binomial and geometric. The probability of success in each trial must be constant, common condition. So you just need to understand this condition. This is the difference between binomial and geometric. In binomial, trials are fixed and finite. In geometric, trials are infinite. A random variable x that has a geometric distribution is described by this. You can read this as x follows geometric with probability of success is p. This is the parameter of the distribution. This is the way to write the distribution or describe the distribution. And this is the formula of the geometric distribution. Q power r minus 1 and p power 1. So the probability that the first success occurs on the rth trial, you can say on 5th trial. So the formula will be for 5th trial, formula will be 5 minus 1 times p. So for rth trial, formula will be r minus 1 times p. We always write r minus 1 here. If we have 5 here, then we have to write 4p, 5 minus 1 here. And the value of r starts from 1 and q is 1 minus p. Rules to make the calculation simple. These are very important rules. You have to learn these rules by heart to be good at this geometric distribution topic. So x greater than r, the answer is q to the power r. X greater equal to r, q r minus 1. See, when r is exclusive, then the power of q is r. When r is inclusive, then the power of q is r minus 1. When x is less than equal to r, then it should be 1 minus qr. When x is less than r, 1 minus qr minus 1. Learn all these rules by heart. Note, x greater equal to 6 means x greater than 5. They both mean the same thing. I mean, the possible values of x are 6, 7 and 8 here. And here the possible integer values of x are 6, 7 and 8. That is why they both are same. So at least 6 has the same meaning as more than 5. Fewer than 8 has the same meaning as 7 or fewer. They both mean the same thing. Mode. The mode of all geometric distribution is 1, is always 1, because the first outcome has the highest probability. If you get the success on the first outcome, then that has the highest probability. Mean. This is the formula of mean for geometric model or geometric distribution, 1 upon p, and q upon p square is the formula of variance of geometric distribution. Some practice questions, just one question in fact. June 20, paper 5.3, question number 5. A pair of fair coins is thrown repeatedly, C, until a pair of tails is obtained. This will help you to understand this question is of geometric distribution. We repeat the process until we get a pair of tails, which is our requirement. The random variable x denotes the number of throws required to obtain a pair of tails. So since this model is geometric, therefore we can write this as x follows geometric with probability 1 upon 4. You all know when two fair coins are tossed, then the probability of a pair of tail is 1 upon 4. Now we need the mean for x. So this is the formula of mean. So we just need to write the reciprocal of p here. The answer is 4. This is here. Part B, find the probability that exactly 3 throws are required to obtain a pair of tails. Exactly 3. So according to the formula of geometric distribution, Q has power 1 less than with this number. 3 minus 1 makes 2, and P has always a power 1. So Q square times P. This will give you this probability. Leave your answer in fraction. This is the better way. Otherwise, give your answer up to 3 significant figures. Find the probability that fewer than 6 throws are required to obtain a pair of tails. This is the formula for fewer than 6. 1 minus q power 5. So with the help of this formula, we can easily get this answer. And make sure you give your answer up to 3 significant figures. The next topic of S1 important notes is the normal distribution. Points to remember. Well, capital X means the normal variable and X is continuous. X is continuous and this is the normal variable. Z means the standard normal variable. Mu and sigma squares, they are the parameters of the distribution. Mu means mean of the normal distribution and sigma square means variance of the normal distribution. And this is the way to describe the normal distribution. X follows normal with mean mu and variance sigma square. And this is the standard normal distribution. Z follows normal with mean 0 and variance 1. These two values are fixed for Z. And this is the formula to convert the statement from X into Z. With the help of this formula, we transform the statement from X into Z. We write sigma here. Properties for the area of normal curve. These are the limits of Z curve, minus 3 and 3. These values are approximate. These are the approximations. These are not the fixed. This area is not exactly 100%. This is, you can say, 99.9%. So these are the approximate values, and never use these values as the lower limit and upper limit while using the latest version of the calculator, new calculator. We never consider these values as the lower and upper limits. So this large area, remember, large area is always phi, this number, whereas small area, this area, is always 1 minus phi, this number. So larger area is always phi, like this. If we need this area, Z less than equal to A, the answer is always phi. And if we need this area, Z greater than A, or greater or equal to A, the answer is always 1 minus phi, because total probability is always 1. In normal distribution, these signs are the same because this is the continuous distribution. They both mean the same thing. Inverse normal. This is very important. Well, how to find the value of z using the given probability? This is very important. You need to understand this concept very carefully. Rules. To decide the position of the unknown, to decide the position of this unknown, we shade the given area according to the given sign of inequality. See, to decide the position of A, we have to shade this area according to this sign of inequality. To decide the position of A, we shade this area according to this sign. Now, for greater sign or greater equal, they both mean the same thing. For this sign, we shade area, given area, from upper limit to lower limit. This is the upper limit and this is the lower limit. We shade area in this way. From upper to lower. See, we have greater sign, so we have to shade this area in this direction because this is the inverse normal. For this sign, we shade the area in this direction from lower limit to upper limit, like this. And area at the center is 0.5. You all know this area is 0.5 and this area is 0.5. So to know the position of this unknown, we have to shade this area in this direction, like this. Since this area is greater than 0.5, so we have to cross this central line 0 and we will be here approximately. So this area is 0.9, so A is negative because A is on left side of the 0. So this is the way to identify the position of the unknown, and this is very important. You have to first identify the position of the unknown with the help of this sign of inequality in this area. Shade this area with respect to this sign. For this sign, always shade in this way. For this sign, always shade in this way. Here we have to shade this area in this direction from lower limit to upper limit. And this is positive because this is on right side of 0. Now how to find, after getting the position of this unknown, how to find the value of unknown? This is here. See, first we need to shade this area. Since we have greater sign and probability is greater than 0.5, so we have to shade in this direction. And we have to cross this central line. So we will write this as phi inverse 0.75 and the answer is 0.674. You all know how to find phi inverse through table and through the latest version of the calculator, the new calculator. I explain these things in detail in my normal distribution lecture. So if you don't know these things, you can watch those lectures from the playlist of normal distribution. I'm just explaining how to get the position of this A. How to know whether A is positive or negative. So according to this sign, we have to shade from upper limit to the lower limit, and since this area is greater than 0.5, so we have to cross this central line because till this central line area is 0.5, so A is negative. So phi inverse 0.75 is this, but you have to write your answer as minus 0.674. You have to put negative sign yourself according to this sketch. Now same question, but the probability is less than 0.5. Here probability was greater than 0.5. Again we have to shade in this way, but we have to stop well before this 0. And this constant is positive because this is on right side of 0. So if you are using latest version of the calculator, then you should write phi inverse 0.3. Okay, your calculator will give you the answer. Make sure you decide positive and negative with respect to sketch. Calculator will give you negative answer, but you have to take it positive because B is positive. Well, if you are using table, then you have to find phi inverse 0.7 because table always starts from 0.5. So phi inverse 0.7, just find this from the table and leave your answer, positive answer. From table you will always get positive answer. Well, for less than sign, we shade area in this way. Since this area is greater than 0.5, so we have to cross the central line. And this constant is here. This is positive. Phi inverse 0.9 is 1.282 and C is 1.282 because C is positive according to this sketch. Again, we have to shade in this direction, but area is less than 0.5, so we have to stop before this central line. So if you are using calculator, you can put phi inverse 0.4. Just put area 0.4, calculator will give you answer, and decide positive and negative with respect to sketch. In this case, D is negative. If you are using table, then find phi inverse 0.6, and that's the answer. Final answer should be up to 3 significant figures. No matter what sign your calculator shows, choose signs according to the sketches. This concept is extremely important. See, approximately 95% of the distribution lies within 2 standard deviation of the mean. So this is 95% and this lies within 2 standard deviation of the mean. Within means this area. Of the mean means mu plus minus. So whenever you find this statement, then always write this inequality. Less than sign. Modulus mu plus 2 sigma. When you will simplify this inequality, you will get this thing, mu minus 2 sigma, mu plus 2 sigma. So always write this inequality first, modulus x less than mu plus 2 sigma. And when you will remove modulus, you will get this thing. And when you will further simplify this, you will get this thing. I'm writing this here. Z minus 2 plus 2. So basically you need this probability. This is the simplified form of this inequality. Approximately 99.9%, very nearly all of the distribution lies within 3 standard deviation of the mean. This is here. Whenever they say within, always put lesser sign and modulus. Approximately 68% of the distribution lies within 1 standard deviation of the mean. Those students who study bio, they need to learn these things by heart because in bio they use these things. And this is the way to simplify this. First write this in this way, then minus 1 and 1, and this is the way to find the probability. This is phi 1 and this is 1 minus phi 1. This is one of the most important concept of normal distribution. You must be good at this concept. And question of this type is expected in November 2021 exam. So, the first thing, more than mean or above the mean. This means x greater than mu plus. If the question is just this thing, more than mean or above the mean. For example, 1 standard deviation above the mean. If this is the statement, 1 standard deviation above the mean, you need to write this like this, x greater than mu plus 1 sigma, and this is the requirement. So must understand the statement first and write the correct probability equation. Now, more than one standard deviation from the mean. From means plus minus. So whenever you find this statement, then always use modulus. And more than means greater sign. One standard deviation from the mean, mu plus 1 sigma. You must understand this statement first, and then you must know how to write this probability equation. And this statement means these two areas. When you will simplify this, you will get this thing. I mean, this will become probability z greater than 1. This will become probability z less than minus 1. So both answers are same. So 2 times probability z greater than 1. This number is always here. And since greater sign, so twice, because both areas are same. Now within one standard deviation from the mean, whenever you find within, always use lesser sign with modulus. And the simplified form is this, 1 and minus 1, and this area is the requirement. Deviates from the mean by more than 2 standard deviation. This is similar to this statement. Deviates means modulus. From the mean greater, I mean more than means greater sign, and deviates from the mean means modulus x. From the mean, whenever you find from the mean, always use modulus. From the mean, modulus. From the mean, modulus. From the mean, modulus. If they say within, then put lesser sign. If they say more than, greater sign, more than, greater sign. And the simplified form is this, 2 probability z greater than 2. Please take the screenshot of this page. And you can simplify this one. You can simplify this one as, if you know the result directly, it's fine. The direct result is this. This one is here. So when you will convert this statement into z, you will get this thing. Then you will get this thing, and this means this area and this area. Just learn this statement directly from this equation. And this is 1 minus 5 1, so this answer is 1 minus 5 and 2 is here. Practice questions or example questions. This question is from June 20, paper 51. Question number 6. The lengths of female snakes of a particular species are normally distributed with mean 54 and standard deviation 6.1. So this information is here. Part A, find the probability that a randomly chosen female snake of this species has length between this and this. So this is very simple. We need this probability. We need to convert this statement x into z with the help of this formula, x minus mu over sigma. So 50 minus mu over sigma. This is positive, so this will be 5, and this is negative, so this will be 1 minus 5. We need this area. And that's the final answer. Those who are using, who use latest version of the calculator, they can put this as the lower limit and this as the upper limit after this step, and they can get the answer directly. But this step is compulsory. They have to show this step. Next part of this question. This is the most commonly used question of normal distribution. The lengths of male snakes of this species also have normal distribution. A scientist measures the lengths of random sample of 200 snakes of this species. He finds that 32 have lengths less than 45. Now, this will help you to make this equation. Less than 35 are 32 out of 200. So this is the first equation. And 17 have lengths more than 56. So more than 56, 17 upon 200. Now you have to form two equations of mu and sigma with the help of these two conditions. So less than 45, first you need to convert this statement into Z. So when you will convert, first you need to shade this area. So this is 0.16, and according to this sign you have to shade area in this way. So 0.16 is this area, and since this is on left side of 0, so answer is negative. I mean the value of Z is negative. Now shade this area. This area is this area is 0.085. So when you will shade this area, you will be here according to this sign, and the value of Z is positive. Now convert this statement into Z. It will be 45 minus mu over sigma, and the value of Z is this. So you just need to equate this with this. So this is the first equation. This one. Do the same thing here. 56 minus mu over sigma will be 1.372, and this is the equation number 2. You must be good at inverse normal. You must know how to shade this area and how to find this value. Same as here. According to this sign, shade in this way, and the answer is positive. Here answer is negative because sign is lesser, we shade it in this way. By solving these two equations simultaneously, we can get the values of mu and sigma. Make sure you give your answer up to 3 significant figures. You must be good at these types of questions. Next question of this topic. The weights x grams of bars of soap are normally distributed with mean 125 and standard deviation 4.2. Find the probability that a randomly chosen bar of soap weighs more than 128 grams. This is very simple. We need this probability. We have mu, we have sigma. We need this probability. So this is 1 minus 5. 1 minus 5.7143, and this is the probability, and answer is up to 3 significant figures. Find the value of k such that this probability, this equation, this is one of the most important part or question of normal distribution. Now, how to understand this? See, number 1, you have to convert this statement from x into z. So when you will convert this statement from x into z, you will get this equation. Now this is very important. See, when one number, now try to understand this thing here. When number is positive, we write 5. When number is negative, we write 1 minus 5, but we write positive number. This is negative number. I wrote 1 minus 5 positive this number. Right? But when number is unknown, for negative value, negative known value, we always write plus, like this. But for unknown value, we do consider the negative sign. See. First, we have to write this as 5. This is here. Now, how do we know whether this is positive or negative? So first write this here. Now observe this probability and shade this probability. This probability is more than 0.5. So this, when you will shade this, you will get this thing. I mean, this thing is negative. So to understand or to know the sign of this unknown value, whether this is positive or negative, you first need to label this here and then shade this probability. And after shading this probability, you will know the position of this. This is on left side of 0. So this is negative. Now this is very important. If this is negative and if this is unknown, like in this case, then we have to take this negative with 5. When we have unknown quantity with negative sign, we do take negative sign with phi. But for known quantities, like for this thing, we never take negative sign here. We always take positive. Positive will remain positive, negative will become positive if the value is numerical, known value. But for unknown, like this is unknown and this is negative, we have to take this negative here. Now the rest is very simple. You just need to shift this on right hand side, get the phi of this is here, this minus 1 is here, this minus will go inside and we'll get this thing. Now simplify these two and then shift this here. So we just need to find phi of this. Phi inverse of this is this, and this is the way to get the value of k. The most important step of this question is sketch. First sketch to understand the position of this, and if this thing is negative, then must take negative here. And the rest is simple. Yeah, I have mentioned this here. If number is numerical value with negative, we ignore negative. For numerical value, ignore negative. For unknown value, always take negative. You can check this here. This is negative, so I ignore negative here. This is unknown, so I took the negative sign here. Now the last part of this question is 5 bars of soap are chosen at random. This is normal to binomial. Find the probability that more than 2 of the bars each weighed more than 128 grams. So more than 128 grams have probability this. This is the probability, more than 128. So this will be P for this part. And we need 2 bars out of 5. So more than 128 P is here. Make sure you write the value of P up to 4 decimal places. Don't use 3 significant value here. Don't use this value here. This one. Use this one. Because we need more accurate value for later parts. Now more than 2 means this probability. 3, 4, 5 or this. You have both the options. You can either do this in this way or this way. That's the answer. And that's the formula of binomial distribution. Normal approximation. X, if X follows binomial and if NP and NQ both are greater than 5, if they both are greater than 5, then binomial can be approximated by normal, where mu is NP and sigma square is NPQ. And continuity correction must be made when a discrete distribution is approximated by a continuous distribution. So after continuity correction, this is the formula. Continuity correction and mu and sigma squares formulas. So x will be x plus minus 0.5, mu is NP and sigma is NPQ under root. Make sure you must mention root here. So you have to do these 2 changes while using normal approximation to binomial distribution. And for continuity correction, the best thing is number line. This is the best way. If you are finding this probability greater than 60, then first mention the smallest integer value. The smallest integer value is 61. The first inclusive value is 61. When you go on right side, then you always take lower bound. Whenever we go on right side on number line, then we take lower bound. So 60.5 should be here with NP as mean and under root NPQ as standard deviation. Just do this thing carefully and the rest is simple. The first inclusive value is 70. Since we are going on this side, so we have to take upper bound, and the upper bound of this is 70.5. So this is the way to do normal approximation, and this is the condition of the normal approximation. In Scotland, in November, on average, 80% of days are cloudy. Assume that the weather on any one day is independent of the weather on other days. Part 1. Use normal approximation to find the probability of there being fewer than 25 cloudy days in Scotland in this. So we need to use normal approximation here. P is 0.8 and we need this probability. The first inclusive value is 24. Since we are going on left side, so we have to take the upper bound. So 24.5 NP under root NPQ. This is here. And you all know how to solve this. This is phi. Large area is always phi. Give a reason why the use of normal approximation is justified, because both NP and NQ are greater than 5. The value of NP is 24, NQ is 6. They both are greater than 5. You have to give this justification. Make sure you write the correct value, correct integer value here. The first inclusive integer value should be here. And then decide upper and lower bound. When you go on this side, take the upper bound. Well, x less than a means x is fewer or less than a. This means x is more or greater than a. This means x is at most a and x is not more than a and x is a or less. So x is not more than a means this thing. X is not less than a means this thing. You must understand these statements. Just understand these two. X is not more than a means this thing. X is not less than a means this thing. Well, I will discuss representation of data in my next lecture. Allah Hafiz.